Good Wednesday evening, February 12th, and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. An East Wenatchee man who shot another man in the arm last November in a dispute over a former partner was sentenced Monday to 9 years in prison. The fabric and craft store Joann has announced plans to close 500 of its 800 U.S. locations due to bankruptcy, including the East Wenatchee location. Chilly with the chance for snow tomorrow. I'll have all the weather details coming up in your full local forecast. The Wenatchee, Cascade, and Manson school districts all passed levies with approval ratings of 60% or higher in last night's special election. Wenatchee School District passed its educational programs and operations levy at 60.7% with a total of 5,663 yes votes and 3,664 no votes. Wenatchee's levy was a target of the Wenatchee Record political mailer ahead of the election, which encouraged voters against supporting it. Meanwhile, in Leavenworth, Cascade passed both an EP&O levy at 65.9% with 1,787 yes votes and 923 no votes, and a capital levy at 64.5% with 1,752 yes votes and 961 no votes. Manson also passed two levies, an EP&O levy at 65.4%, that's 537 yes votes and 284 no votes. They also passed a capital levy at 65.7% with 544 yes votes and 284 no votes. Meanwhile, over in Grant County, the Moses Lake School District passed an education programs and operations levy last night after a double levy failure last year led to layoffs of staff and loss of funding for sports. Voters approved the levy at 58.77% with 5,911 yes votes and 4,147 no votes. In a press release, the district said the levy passing was celebrating a, quote, monumental victory after the two unsuccessful levy tries in 2024. According to the district website, the district will gain $23.5 million in local effort assistance from 2026 through 2029. The levy passing will allow for items like more para-educators and teaching staff, full support of athletics and activities by the 2026-27 school year, and the restoration of advanced placement courses. An East Wenatchee man who shot another man in the arm last November in a dispute over a former partner was sentenced Monday to 9 years in prison. River Joseph Deshane, 26 years old, pleaded guilty in Chelan County Court to first-degree assault. Judge Robert Jordan sentenced him to 108 months in prison, plus 3 more years of community custody once he's released. Wenatchee police say Deshane shot the 32-year-old victim with a handgun from his car outside Subway on North Mission Street. The victim was dating Deshane's former girlfriend. He's been held since his arrest on $500,000 bond. One new 7th District state lawmaker wants more legislative input on appointments to Washington's high courts. Representative Hunter Abel has introduced 3 bills to change the way governors appoint judges to the Supreme Court and Court of Appeals. He wants state Senate approval for appointees to both courts. Right now, the governor makes all judicial appointments unilaterally. The change would require a constitutional amendment. Abel, a lawyer and past president of the Washington State Bar Association, says Senate oversight would prevent governors from stacking courts and help improve public trust in the state's judicial process. His 3 bills are currently up for debate in the House Judiciary Committee. When we come back, the Eastmont School District Board of Directors announced that Curram interim superintendent and longtime Eastmont employee Spencer Taylor is being considered for the permanent superintendent position. And 4th District Congressman Dan Newhouse says he's in favor of tariffs from the Trump administration on Canada and Mexico, but worries about retaliatory tariffs on Washington farmers. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Central Washington Water is your solution for problem water. Whether you're on a well or municipal water, they can design a clean water system custom to you. Soft water eliminates water spots and scaling on fixtures. It protects appliances from hard water damage, saving you money. Soft water reduces soap usage that causes skin irritation and is a healthier choice to drink. Call for a free in-home consultation or stop by the store to have your water tested. Central Washington Water, your best water solution for home, pool, and spa.
The fabric and craft store Joann has announced plans to close 500 of its 800 U.S. locations due to bankruptcy, including the one in East Wenatchee. The company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in January and today released a list of stores slated for closure, which included 21 Washington locations. It's the second time the company has filed for bankruptcy. Joann filed in March of 2024, but managed to stay afloat by choosing to become a private company. NCWLIFE News reached out to the staff at the East Wenatchee Joann store, but they declined to comment. The Eastmont School District Board of Directors announced that current interim superintendent and longtime Eastmont employee Spencer Taylor is being considered for the permanent superintendent position. The district will host two events to gather input on this decision from the community, one for staff and the other for Taylor to meet the community. The staff event will take place in the Eastmont Junior High School auditorium on February 27th, and the community event will also take place in the auditorium later at 5:30 p.m. on March 3rd. 4th District Congressman Dan Newhouse says he's in favor of tariffs from the Trump administration on Canada and Mexico, but worries about retaliatory tariffs on Washington farmers. The Sunnyside Republican said this week the tariffs from the U.S., which are on hold until March 4th, are justified by the flow of illegal drugs and immigration into the country. Tariffs levied in return by those countries could start what he calls an unnecessary trade war, similar to the 2018 tariff disputes during the first Trump presidency. In that year, American farm exports lost an estimated $27 billion, with soybean sales taking the highest losses. Coming up next, a new plant program at the Wenatchee Public Library is filling up spots fast. We will tell you more about it coming up in tonight's feature story. Another chilly day with snow showers on tap tomorrow, then warmer and wetter weather moving in on Friday and the weekend. I'll have your full local weather forecast coming up. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect, no matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier. Total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
A new plant program in the Wenatchee Public Library is filling up spots fast. Terrarium Tuesday kicked off in December and brings in tweens, teens, and adults to learn about the tiny homes for plants. On Tuesday, the third installment of the first set of classes focused on hanging terrariums. In tonight's feature story, Teen Services Library Associate Katie McNall spoke with NCWLIFE News as she set up Tuesday's event to tell us more about the program.
Terrariums are kind of tiny homes for plants. So there's three main varieties. So you can do an open terrarium, a closed terrarium, or a hanging terrarium. So that's kind of what we've been doing in our program. So an open terrarium is better for like succulents and things that don't need a lot of moisture. Closed terrariums are more like tropical plants, orchids, things like that that really like to have a moist, humid environment. And then hanging terrariums, it's easier to do like air plants that don't need a lot of care and maintenance, and they don't need to have a lot of dirt and everything that would keep it heavy and pull it down potentially from like your ceiling or blinds or something. We bring people in, we kind of talk about like how you would layer a terrarium for keeping your plant healthy and happy and letting it grow, what kind of care they need, and then what it would look like, you know, when you might need a bigger container than our tiny little balls, things like that. And so just kind of walking through that process and saying, this is what we're adding and this is why we're adding it. and kind of talking through the science behind it as well. So tonight we are doing hanging terrariums. So we're kind of talking about air plants and the common misconceptions around them, because people think like, oh, they're just air plants. They live on the air. They don't need anything else. And that's not true. They do need a little bit of care and love. And so kind of talking about what that looks like. We're putting them just in basic rocks, and so why are we doing that instead of adding dirt and things like that. So our registration has been full for every class so far, which is great. I think last month was our most popular. Registration opened and 1 minute later it was entirely full, and we've had a waiting list. So that's great for us because we want as many people in here making them as possible. But also we want to make sure that if it's something like that where it's clearly a lot of people want to engage with it and are really excited about it, that we're running it again, which is what we're doing with this program. So for the next 3 months, we'll do another kind of cycle of these 3 programs so that more people can get in the door and try it out. We saw a lot of terrarium books getting checked out and a lot of it popping up on social media like, look at this thing that I'm making. And so we were like, what if we do that in a library? And I have a group of staff who were able to test it out with me and see like, can we reasonably within like our cost parameters buy the supplies and make it happen? And we can, and so we're doing it, and I think people are really excited about it, and we are too. For the library to run programs, we have to be mindful that it's tax dollars funding the work that we do. And so figuring out how do we keep costs as low as possible while also maintaining like ethically sourcing materials as much as possible. And so a lot of that work kind of starts it out and then being like, okay, what's absolutely necessary versus fun to have? And so like, a lot of terrariums you could add moss and things like that, or like cute little figures, which we have tonight, but that's because we have relatively low other supplies. And so kind of looking at that, like what's our cost benefit for a lot of those things, like what do you absolutely need to keep it safe and healthy versus, you know, the fun stuff. And then also looking at, you know, what is our budget for the rest of the year? And so we're lucky enough to have a Friends of the Library group that supports a lot of the work we do, especially financially, because I don't think we could do this on $2 a person, which is generally our limit for library funded programs. And so we get to have a little bit of extra financial help from the Friends of the Library to make it happen.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a fantastic Wednesday. Nice and sunny out there today, but boy, awfully chilly with temperatures 15 to 20 degrees below normal throughout most of North Central Washington. Boy, you wouldn't know it by looking out our weather window from this afternoon. This is up in beautiful Lake Wenatchee, and you can see all of the blue skies that we enjoyed throughout our area today. And that cold weather will continue at least one more day, and then snowfall is in our forecast for Thursday. Looks like we could see less than an inch here in the Wenatchee area, so it will be very light snow. Yakima also less than an inch, and up into Omak about an inch there. But as you travel east, that's where the real snow will happen, panhandle of Idaho and over into western Montana. After that, our weather will become a little more moderate. Our temperatures will get back to normal as we get into Friday and especially into the weekend. But it will become wet. A good chance for snow on Saturday and then a rain-snow mix for Sunday. But the good news is by the time we get into the first and middle part of next week, our temperatures could be in the low 40s, and we'll talk more about that coming up. High temperature today unofficially is 24 degrees. That's 17 degrees below where we should be for this time of year at 41. Our record high 59 degrees, and that was set in 2015. Look at that. We set another record cold overnight low record, 7 degrees this morning. Our old record, folks, we obliterated that. 15 back in 2021. 27 degrees is where we should be, our normal overnight low temperature. Sunrise this morning, it was at 7:10, and our sun set this afternoon at 5:21. All right, let's take a look at those Thursday temperatures. Not much change from what we've seen so far this week. Pushing 30 in the Columbia Basin for Moses Lake and Ephrata, both at 29. A little cooler for Quincy at 27 degrees. And then the rest of us, low to mid 20s. That goes for Wenatchee at 24. Aniat and Chelan, you will see 24 degrees. Leavenworth tomorrow, your high temperature 22. All right, let's get you into tonight. We expect some high clouds moving in, and it's all because of this big area of low pressure that will bring clouds into north central Washington. They will be high clouds tonight, so that'll keep us on the cold side. Once again, we could set another record overnight low with single digits. And then as this low moves a little bit farther inland, that will bring us a pretty good chance that we'll see some snow showers on Thursday. It is likely in the afternoon with high temperatures a lot like we've been seeing, somewhere into those mid-20s. As we end our work week on Friday, high pressure begins to slide in. You can just see the top of the high pressure ridge. We could even see some sun at times Friday afternoon. The good news, this is the start of our warm-up. We're going to see temperatures in the low 30s as we get into Friday. And then for your upcoming weekend, cloudy skies, an even bigger area of low pressure pushes some rain and snow our way. All snow for us on Saturday, maybe an inch or two expected for Saturday with high temperatures. Perfect for snow, right around 30 degrees. And then as we end our weekend on Sunday, we're going to stay on the cloudy sky side, a 60% chance. I think it'll be snow on Sunday as well, with high temperatures warming into the mid-30s. And then the real warm-up begins on Monday. Mostly cloudy skies. You can see our flow of air coming more from the southwest, and that'll bring us some warmer air. Look at that, high temperatures around 40 degrees for Monday, with just a slight chance for a rain-snow mix. And then on Tuesday, cloudy skies. The next area of low pressure begins to move in, but not before we stay pretty seasonal with high temperatures right around 40 degrees. All right, let's take a look at your 7-day forecast now. 8 overnight tonight, cloudy with snow likely tomorrow, staying cool too in 24. And then we'll jump into at least the low 30s for Friday and Saturday. Snow is likely Saturday afternoon, a 60% chance for snow on Sunday and 34. And then we warm up both Monday and Tuesday. Just a slight chance for a snow flurry Monday, but look at the temperatures with highs right around 40. And that's a look at your north central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
What are the best words you can hear tonight?
Order ready for Susan?
And if you hear those words at Abby's, you know it's going to be a legendary meal. Your pizza is loaded with toppings to the edge, premium ingredients, and real cheese. Yeah, baby. Gather with friends, play some video games, and watch the big game on TV. That's made Abby's a legendary pizza tradition for generations. And when you're ready to hear those magic words,
Tom, your order's ready.
you know where to go. You're always welcome at Abby's.
Well, a good Wednesday to you. TCU defended its home court with a win over BYU in women's college basketball last night. Haley Van Lith scored 11 points as the 11th-ranked Horned Frogs were able to beat the Cougars 79-47. The Wenatchee Wild couldn't hold a lead late and fell at Spokane last night on the road in overtime. 4-3 the final. Wenatchee had two different leads in the game, including a 3-2 advantage in the final minute, but the Chiefs came back each time and eventually earned the big win.
Up the right side, Martin fires it out front, a tip and a score! Back to Andreessen at the point, right circle, quick shot, save, rebound, score. Freezing out front. Puck came right to him. No one marking him, and he shovels it in. And it's now a 1-1 game. Chiefs back on the penalty kill. Sights out front, a quick shot and a score. McCloskey right in between the circles, wide open, and it's now 2-1 in favor of Wenatchee. Back out to the blue line. Back to Crampton. Crampton hit it off of G. It went straight up in the air, hit off of his back, and rolls across the goal line. Braden Crampton, his second goal in as many games, and Spokane has tied this game at 2 with 14:47 left. Now Friesen, left side, a shot and a score. Dunphy open on that left circle as the Chiefs got scrambling defensively. Looking, goes to Sarkanoff, puts it out front, and a score! Shea Van Holm open net front. And Spokane scores with 30.8 seconds left, and this game is tied at 3. Catton with it. Catton holds, comes out front, out, and almost shoots and scores! Shea Van Holm with 2:08 left in overtime, and Spokane wins this game by a final score of 4-3.
Wenatchee returns home to face Portland on Friday night at 7 o'clock. Then Seattle's in town on Sunday at 4 at the Town Toyota Center. If you want tickets, go to WenatcheeWildHockey.com for that. Well, Wenatchee and Eastmont split boys and girls doubleheaders in basketball last night in Big 9 play. Eastmont girls grabbed an early lead and never looked back at a 51-28 victory, making it a 3-game sweep of the season series against their Cross River rivals. Grant Olson had the call right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Here's Garcia Miller to Cardona. Back to Garcia Miller. Under the basket. Layup good, and she's fouled. Nice dribble. Right wing. Takes it to the basket. Good. Malia Lehman. What a ball handler for a freshman to fellow freshman Giselle Hoven. Back to Lehman. Top of the key. Shots taken by Hines, the lefty, for 3. Good. And it's back to a 10-point lead for Eastmont, 21-11. Here's Reeser. Far side on the wing, back top of the key. McGinnis left open. She puts up the 3. It's good. Keto, she loses control of it. Lehman down court. Hines, head fake, no good. There's Pilkington, the putback up and in. Hines whips it back out, top of the key. Lehman for 3, no good. Back up with it. Pilkington, no good. Riley Jones the block. Pilkington again, back up and in. Does finally find Lehman. Right side, Haberlock. Now it's Lehman to Pilkington. Pilkington, the floater in the lane. Good. And back comes Norton for the Panthers. 2 seconds. 1. The layup good by Norton to end this one. And that is our ball game. Our final score, Eastmont 51 and Wenatchee 28.
I think we've been playing together really good, and I think that's been helping us win. And beating them 3 times, that's also helped us a lot.
And you know, you guys are in the mix, maybe even for second place now in the Big 9 with West Valley, Ike, all bunched up. This was a big win tonight. You finished with the win. Your next game, you're going to be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, we're going to beat Ike.
That's your next game, and that's what you've been waiting for.
Yeah, I've been waiting to play Ike because we lost to them by 1 point the last game. And I know we'll beat them this game if we play together.
The boys' game saw Eastmont grab an early 10-point lead in the first quarter, but Wenatchee came all the way back and held on for a 71-65 victory. It was the Panthers' first and only league win of the season. Grant Olson had the call again here on the NCWLIFE channel.
3 minutes left, second quarter. Hammond underneath. Here's big Connor Cass, shot up and good. And boy, Eastmont does not have an answer for him right now. Baps to Kenyon. Snyder's left open. He puts up the shot, no good. Rebound. Yale kicks it out. Kenyon blocked by Torres. Torres layup all the way down court. Good. Crossover dribble underneath. Harley has position down there, up and in. Panthers a much taller team, and it is showing, and they're using that height to their advantage tonight. Another turnover by Eastmont. Back come the Panthers. Torres, the layup, good. And the Panthers are feeling it right now. Harley the rebound, back to Torres. Here's Cass underneath, getting hammered down there. That could be an intentional. Can't do that. Getting to be almost a little bit desperation time for the Wildcats, and now it is. A shot by Ryder Ray is good. 11-point Panther lead. Llewellyn, long shot for three is good. Under a minute and a half now left to go. Torres had it knocked out of his hands down court. Llewellyn, left-hand layup, good. To Cass at the free throw line, far side. Ray dumps it back to Cass, backs his way in and gets it to go. He's got 25 and looking to drive on Cass, can't get it. Harley the rebound, all the way down. Torres, he stops, let the defense go by him. Torres, good. Under the basket is where Eastmont will bring this one in with 40 seconds left, and they're down by 8. Here's Llewellyn, quick shot, baseline, 2 points or 3, which one is it? And it's a three-pointer by Llewellyn. Here's Carson Baps, the lefty. Now Snyder left open for three, baseline no good. Lucas Baps up and in. Here's Ray. Inbounds, Harley back to Ray. He's hit on the arm by Snyder with 6.6 seconds. That was huge. Here's the other one, 6-point lead, and that should do it for the Panthers. 4 seconds left. Llewellyn the shot. And we've got a foul. As Snyder brings it in, Llewellyn, the shot at the buzzer is no good. And how about that? The Wenatchee Panthers come to Eastmont and pull out an upset win.
And with us now, our NCWLIFE channel player of the game, junior Connor Cash. Connor, great game.
Thank you.
End up with 25 points. And it looked like when you guys were down by 10 in that midway through the first quarter, something clicked in you guys and you started getting it down low. You had a definite height advantage in that game. Was that part of the plan?
Yeah, I think so. Just got to run our plays, get it down low, and I was ready for it.
And you know, you had your opportunities in the first quarter, didn't connect on some of those, but boy, you sure did, especially in the second half.
Yeah, it was got to warm up a bit, I guess.
And you know, you guys were kind of feeling it in that second game against Eastmont. You had a furious comeback late in that game, landed up by losing by 5. Yeah. Tonight, you ended up with a 14-point lead, held on, and won by 6. Nice job.
Yeah, thank you.
How nice is it to not only get your first league win, but to beat your Cross River rival Eastmont in doing so?
It feels great. After losing to them twice before, it just feels really nice at the end of the season. It's just a great feeling.
Quincy and Ephrata's season came to an end in the first round of the District 5 2A boys tournament last night. Jackrabbits fell to East Valley 79-58, while the Tigers dropped a heartbreaker to Toppenish 46-43. Chelan and Cashmere advanced in the District 5 1A tournament, while Omak was crushed by Zilla 92-68. The Goats handled Kiona Benton 80-50. Cashmere got by Wapato 70-61. Lake Roosevelt boys are the Central Washington 2B League champions after a 63-55 win over Liberty Bell. Okanagan took third with a 78-59 win over Tonasket. Turning to the girls, Tigers and Lions were winners in the first round of the District 5 1B tournament at Moses Lake Christian last night. Antioch beat Oroville 42-20, while Moses Lake Christian beat Cascade Christian 48-18. Brewster is the Central Washington 2B League champs after downing Okanagan 55-32. Tonasket took third with a 45-37 win over Lake Roosevelt. The districts continue today. District 5 2A girls starts tonight with Quincy at Toppenish at 6. The other games have Othello at East Valley. Ellensburg's hosting Grandview. Sela plays at Prosser. District 5 1B boys basketball tournament begins tonight at Wilson Creek, where Pateras faces Cascade Christian at 6. That's followed at 7:30 by Antioch and Wilson Creek. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a happy Wednesday.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more news from around North Central Washington, you can find us at NCWLIFE.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app for iPhone and Android. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. Email us at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great night.